So we just got to the killing fields, and we're eating in the tuk-tuk, obviously. We're about to go in right now. We ended up getting a tuk-tuk driver for the day. He's going to take us to S21, to the killing fields, to the Russian market, all for $15, which is excellent. Preparing ourselves a little bit because we know that the killing fields are going to be pretty intense and pretty somber, which we're ready for. But
as ready as you can be.
Yeah, as ready as you can be. So we're going in now. Choeung Ek Genocial Center. Akun. Have to be kind of quiet right now, but there's audio tours that you can take that go along with it, and there's a standard tour for a limited time, and then there's also a longer time tour, which is what Brooke and I are going to do right now. But we're about to start that, and there's about, 19 or 20 stops, so it should take about an hour and a half. What you're seeing here are pits where people were buried, and has been excavated since. A lot of the bodies have been excavated, but they'd be taken to these pits and held before the pits and then executed and then dumped into the pits. And it's almost like a landmine field or something, or like a mortar field where there's just pits everywhere. You can see them, pit after pit after pit. A lot of what's over there where it's just field is actually those unexcavated pits where they haven't actually gone and dug the bodies back up. But as you can see, they're still working on some of the pits to excavate and identify victims and such. You can actually see little pieces of bone in the walkway. They've built up a little terrace, which is nice in respect to the people, but if you look down, you can see white specks of bone just about everywhere you look. It's pretty eerie, pretty horrible. So we just finished the killing fields. Very somber, very emotional, but good to see for sure. The amount of bone fragments that are still on the ground is unsettling. Like, there's really a lot. And then of course you walk into the stupa, which are traditionally supposed to be for relics, human remains and stuff, but it's like one of the biggest stupas I've ever seen. It's just completely floor after floor of skulls, different types of skulls, and they're categorized on how they were actually killed usually, whether they're female or male. There's been signs of chemical abuse, or if they were killed with a bamboo stick, or if they were killed with a bamboo rod or a knife or a crowbar, or bayonet, any other ways that they killed people here. So I wouldn't say it's interesting, I'd say it's pretty grotesque, but yeah. There's also a number of trees here that play an important role in the area. Apparently it actually used to be a Chinese burial ground before they started using it for killing the Khmer Rouge's oppositions, but it used to be a burial ground before that. But the trees here are interesting. There's three main ones. The first one is like a palm tree. It has very sharp bark, and they actually use that to slit people's throat. They take them right up to the palm tree and just slit their throats in the bark of the palm tree. There's another tree, it's probably like the most horrific part of this whole thing, called the killing tree. And that's the one with all the wristbands and flowers and fruit and all sorts of offerings around it. But apparently they would take women there, and they would rape them and kill the women, leave a big naked pile of women in that hole next to the tree. But then they'd take their infant and their kids, and they'd grab them by the feet and swing them around and smash them into there. They said when they found it, it was covered in brain bits and head bits, and hundreds of children died through that, which is horrible. And then finally, you probably can't see it from here, there's a tree right over there where they had a boombox or a stereo system, loudspeaker, where they would play music day and night. They'd blast propaganda music in order to drown out the screams of the people that they were killing. So really, just the whole complex is really disgusting and messed up. But they've obviously done a really nice job trying to make it something that...
It's educational?
Yeah, it's educational and prevents further genocides from happening. Some of a never again kind of mentality that it seems like the Holocaust survivors in Auschwitz and other places have adapted. Unfortunately, it's still happening. Like they say, never again, but you know, Syria, that's happening in Syria, it's happening in Darfur, it's happening in Sudan. There's too many places where it's still happening right now. So this is, while this is good that it's been recognized and it's being used as an educational purpose here, obviously we still haven't learned enough. So it's just upsetting, I would say, overall. It's unfortunate too because they've done such a nice job. It's actually kind of a beautiful place. There's beautiful flowers and trees, and it's a very peaceful place almost, but it's hard to get past the history of it all, I guess. So that being said, we're going to S21, Security Prison 21, where it's also called Tuol Sleng, actually, is the real name of it. But that's where most of the prisoners were held and tortured before they were brought here to be executed. And there were 17,000 people that went through there, and only 8 survived, they said, from Tuol Sleng. So basically, if you came here from Tuol Sleng, you're done. I mean, that was the last journey you ever took. So on to another bright, cheery thing, but it's all right. I'm glad we're doing it. On another note, this was also one of 300 killing fields in Cambodia. Many haven't even been found or too difficult to get to because they're still in the jungle, but this is one of an estimated 300. Yeah, they're still covered in landmines as well. But one of 300 in which about 3 million people died during that civil war between 1975 and 1979 when the Khmer Rouge kind of took power before the Vietnamese came back in and took the country back over and reset it all.